Hey, welcome to Dip Dot. My name is Amanda, and I just want to wish you a happy new year. One of the things that I should probably get a little bit better at is making the food appropriate videos ahead of time. But you know, this is actually kind of sort of a vlog style channel. I cook, I'm a real mom. I cook the meals as I do it, and then I upload them. But one of the popular dishes on New Year's Day is something with black-eyed peas. So I am making, for the first time for me, Hoppin John. I have made black-eyed pea dishes in the past, but I've never made this particular one. It sounds really delicious. So let's get started. We're gonna start off with a couple pieces of bacon. This was part of a package that I'd already opened. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it all. I think I've got 6 pieces here, but we're just gonna chop it up into bite-sized pieces and we will get them sauteing. But while I was cutting this, I just wanted to wish that everyone had a safe and happy New Year's. Make sure you comment below, tell me what you did. Did you go out and do anything? We stayed at home. I didn't make it to midnight. I fell asleep with snoring by 11 o'clock. But you know what? That's okay. I'm going to add the bacon to a cold pan, then turn it on. Yeah, I'm just not a late night kind of person. And if we're not doing something special for New Year's, I don't really see the point in just staying up just for the sake of staying up. My husband and I did try. We were watching TV and like trying to stay up, but at 11 o'clock, we both just like crashed, but that's okay. It was midnight somewhere, right? Okay, so I'm just breaking up this bacon and we'll get it sauteing. And while it is sauteing, I am going to just cut up some of this kielbasa sausage and we'll be right back. So you know I like to work right next to the stove so that way as things are cooking, I can be chopping and adding it in. So my bacon has started to render out some of its fat. It's nowhere near done yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and add in the sausage. I just cut it into like half moon shapes and we wanna give it a chance to get nice and crispy before we add the next ingredient. So another little trick that I like to have is I keep a little bowl next to my chopping and it's like my little trash bowl. So as I'm peeling vegetables and such, I can just add that to the bowl so I'm not constantly going back and forth between my cutting board and the trash can. Or if you're lucky enough to have a place that composts, that would be nice too. But then you can just add this to your compost at the end. Do you do New Year's resolutions in your family? I typically am not. So I love to use the end of the year to reflect, and set new goals. But I don't necessarily create New Year's resolutions because I'm the kind of person who likes to set goals throughout the year, work toward them, check them off, and go to the next goal, right? But back in 2019 is when I started my health journey. She says as she's stirring a pot of bacon and doing kielbasa sausage. It's all about balance, people, all about balance. I wouldn't eat this type of meal every night. But anyway, I digress. So I do set intentions, and I don't know if you've heard of the trend of the word of the year. So last year, my word was connection. And that's why it's kind of one of the things that drove me to start this YouTube channel. Because to me, food is family and it's connection. And I have been lucky enough to connect and meet people through YouTube around the world in the comment section and other YouTubers. And it's just been really amazing. And I want to continue that throughout the year. And then my word for 2022 is, well, I couldn't decide. And I'm making it up. So I'm going to choose, instead of one word, I'm going with 2. And my words for 2022 are inspire and empower. I hope to inspire people around me in my life to lead their best life. I am working on creating and leading my best life. And I want to inspire other people, whether it's through food, fitness, you know, just mental health. So I'm going to add these onions. I'm going to pause myself because I got a little enthusiastic. This dish was really great, but it was a bit more greasy than I prefer. If you take time to drain the grease at this step before adding the vegetables, I think the end product would be a little bit better. And start chopping on some celery. Back in, I don't talk about it much on the cooking channel, but mostly because, food and fitness go so hand in hand, right? But usually I'm just so focused on the recipes and the food that we're cooking. But back in April of 2019, I started a daily yoga practice, and I've done yoga every single day since then. So today, on January 1st, 2022, I'm just got past 1,000 days. I'm on 1,007 days of yoga every day. So April will be my 3-year yoga anniversary. And that's really fun. And I want to expand that. One of my goals, as soon as I feel more safe to travel, pandemic and everything, I want to go on a yoga retreat. Something that I never, ever thought that I would do in my life. But now I'm looking forward to it, and I'm researching some different ones. So one of my goals, I don't know if I'll do it this year or, next year, but I do have a bucket list item to go on a yoga retreat. So if you've ever been on one, please comment below because I'm curious what your experience was like. We got the onion, the celery. Y'all know me, I like to use up ingredients that I have going in the refrigerator. Normally I'd put a whole bell pepper in, but this is almost a whole bell pepper. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use it, and we won't have quite as much bell pepper, but that's okay. And then in a lot of Hoppin John, we have, a lot of them call for jalapeno. Y'all know my family does not like spicy foods, so I'm gonna leave the jalapeno out, and I'm gonna add some pickled jalapeno to my dish at the end. So that'll be good. So let's get this in, and then let's talk about seasonings. So let me show you what we got going on so far. Okay, oh man, it's looking so good. This is gonna make a lot too. We're gonna add our salt and pepper. Remember, the bacon's got some salt, so keep that in mind. And then I'm going to use, I need to make some more. I'm gonna use my homemade Cajun powder. I like to use a homemade because, again, my family doesn't like spicy food, and most store-bought Cajun food has cayenne pepper. So this one is oregano, well, let me think about that. Paprika, oregano, garlic powder, and onion powder is all I put in mine. But most of the ones from the store will have cayenne. I'm gonna add a little bit more of just those ingredients because I didn't have quite enough Cajun powder already pre-mixed. Man, I'm almost out of onion powder too. I need to spend some time giving my spice drawer here some love. So garlic powder, and that'll be good. Okay, and then we're going to, one of my New Year's intentions is to start drinking more water again. I was doing really, really good at that last summer, and then as the winter months started, I started drinking less water because when I get cold, I don't want to drink more water, but I like to drink room temperature water. This thing has been so helpful. I will link it down below in my description box. I got it off Amazon, and it just helps you mark out your water. So if you also are trying to drink more water, this thing is awesome. Got my seasoning got in there, and now I'm going to be using frozen black eyed peas. If you're going to use canned ones, that would be fine too. If you use canned ones, you don't need as much chicken stock because the canned ones are cooked through more. These frozen ones haven't been, I think they're partially poached, but they're not all the way, they're still gonna be tough. Or not tough, what's the word? Hard? They're not cooked all the way through. Oh, there was one, see, that wasn't shelled. Ah, hot, hot, hot. See, I got a couple that I don't think, oh man, this is looking, oh, one hopped out. My Hoppin John is hopping out. Okay, so I'm going to Cover this with some chicken stock. The reason why I have two is because somehow I ended up with two open containers in my refrigerator, so I just want to use them both up. This one is just free range. One is fat-free, one is low sodium, just because that's what I grabbed at the grocery store each day. I'm going to, like I said, kind of just barely cover this, and then I'll give it a stir, and we're gonna put a lid on it, and we're gonna cook it for like 30 minutes, and I'm gonna check on it to make sure the liquid doesn't go down too much. And then I might, have to add some more liquid. And then while this is cooking, I am going to make some white rice in my Instapot. I'm also going to, as a side dish, make some sauteed cabbage, because cabbage is another New Year's Day dish that's supposed to bring prosperity and money. So all the good intentions today. Oh, I forgot to add, we're going to put this on low, let it simmer on low for like half an hour, and we'll be back. All right, let's give it a quick peek. It's been a little over 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead, and since I do have extra liquid, now when I put the lid on, I'm going to just crack it, because I want this to be kind of a thick consistency. I don't want it to be too soupy. So I'm gonna let that way it can steam off. And then to show you, here's the cabbage and bacon side dish that I made to go along with it. I mean, honestly, this is a one-pot meal. It doesn't really need a side dish, but I just wanted to be able to add in cabbage for the New Year's luck. All right, here's what it looks like when we got it finished. There's a little bit of broth in there. That's really good because the rice will soak it up, but the peas are now nice and tender. I did end up cooking it for about 4 or 5 more minutes, past the 30 minutes, to make sure the peas were tender. Here is my plated up bowl with the rice. And then while it was cooking, I made sure to keep drinking some of my water. But let's go ahead and give this a taste. Like I said, this isn't a dish I've ever made before, but it sounds really good. It's got some Cajun roots. I love Cajun food. I love black eyed peas. They have like such an earthy flavor. It's not a vegetable I cook with very often because my husband has childhood trauma from eating black eyed peas. It was one of those dishes that he had to sit at the table for. You know what I'm talking about, right? So it's not something I cook with very often, but I actually really do like them. And one day I'm gonna have to show you, I pretty much lived off a black eyed pea soup that I made in college. And so I'll have to make that dish for you one day. Anyway, this is really good. The sausage is delicious. The vegetables in here. This is very warm and comforting on a January cold day. And you know what? It doesn't have to be New Year's to make this dish. You can make this anytime that you're wanting a big bowl of yum. Thank you so much for watching my show. And I hope that you are moved to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And if you are one of my subscribers, thank you so much for all the support that you've given me this past year. My channel is 11 months old. It's almost at its 1-year anniversary. So that's gonna be really exciting coming up. And until the next one, bye.